Put your hand up if you've ever opened a bag of chips just to have one or two, only to find half the bag gone. Keep them up if you immediately felt that heavy wave of food guilt. You probably blamed your lack of self-control. You thought, why can't I just stop? I used to think that this was a personal flaw, but it turned out the exact moment of staring at the empty bag and wondering, what just happened, isn't a failure of willpower. It actually has a scientific formula behind it. We live in a culture where everyone loves to preach discipline. But the problem is that our self-control is competing against teams of scientists who spent years figuring out what makes us crave more. One of these scientists, Howard Moskowitz, dedicated his career to figuring out what scientists called the bliss point. The bliss point isn't necessarily what makes food taste like a 5-star meal. It's like the perfect mathematical balance of sugar, salt, and fat that keeps your brain to wanting more before it even has a chance to say, I'm full. It's like the sweet spot where one bite becomes another and another until you realize the bag is almost empty. Think about a Cheeto. When you put it in your mouth, it melts almost instantly. Food scientists call this the vanishing caloric density. It's like a fancy way of saying the snack disappears so quickly that the snack disappears almost the moment it hits your tongue, and your brain can be slower to recognize just how many calories you're consuming. The snack disappears almost so quickly that your body's I'm full signals tend to be slower to catch up. But chips aren't the only foods designed this way. Many cereals, sodas, cookies, and even fast food products were carefully engineered to create the same response. Scientists in fact study texture, smell, sound, and even how quickly flavors fade in order to keep us from coming back for another bite. In other words, cravings that feel spontaneous are often the results of years of research and development. Now, let's look at this from a business perspective. It's important to understand that there isn't really good or bad intentions. Food companies are doing exactly what companies were built to do, make products that people enjoy and want to buy again. And one of the ways they do that is tapping into instincts we've carried for thousands of years. In human history, finding high-calorie food was often a huge advantage, as food wasn't always guaranteed. And to keep these businesses growing, these products are heavily marketed, often going to children whose brains have not fully developed the ability to resist those cravings. If you think about it, it's a pretty effective economic model. If you could take one thing away from this talk, let it be this: it is not your fault. The next time you finish a big bag of chips and feel that heavy wave of food guilt, stop. Don't blame it on your lack of self-control. Your brain responded exactly the way it was designed to. While we can't change the formulas in the grocery stores, and we can't change how corporations operate, we can change how we view our own choices. When we understand the science behind how these products are designed, we can stop blaming ourselves and start making informed choices. We can start by looking at the grocery shelves more objectively, read packaging more carefully, and make much more informed choices as consumers. Behind every empty snack bag is a formula, not an accident. Thank you.